Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft2 Legacy of the Void. It's going to be a ZVZ between Serral and Rogue. Here on Lost and Found, the latter edition. Two of the greatest Zerg players on Earth at this point. Top right-hand corner is the red Zerg player Serral. He's from Finland and Ents Gaming. And in the bottom left-hand corner is the Korean Zerg player Rogue. He is sporting the color blue. All right, hatch first from both of these players. And, oh, hold on a second. I missed the beginning of the game. But, it's just hatch first. You don't really want to see overlords slowly flying across the map, hoping to scout before before the Zerglings come across, right? Right. Okay, so basically they're doing the exact same build. 15 or 16, let's see, 17 hatch. 17 pool. 17 extractor. 17, 17, 17. It lines up your queens very, very nice for injects. And it's a little bit greedy, but not too greedy for ZVZ. Although, if Rogue or Serral had gone for a 12 pool, it'd be a little bit hard to hold, but nothing these players can not handle. Basically, ZVZ is one of those matchups where you don't have to work or scout. Even if they go 12 pool as fast as they can, you're going to go ahead and have your pool up just, you know, not a little bit too late, a little bit too later after there. And it's basically kind of easy to defend. So I know I say work or scout all the time, but if you're in a ZVZ, don't worry about it. Basically, you're going to be just fine. You are going to want to scout, though. You're going to come in here and see what the saturation is on this natural base. You're going to see if there's any gas taken at the natural. Get into the main if you possibly can here, but nobody's really planning on doing that at all. Queens are popping for both players. Early stage of this game is really setting up for some macro-style stuff, which is honestly my favorite kind of ZVZ, is the macro-style stuff, where we get lurkers, where we get hydras, where we get vipers, where we get ultralisks, maybe get into some broodlord too. It makes it a lot of fun, in my estimation. Both players going for that third hatch very quickly. Sub 3-minute third hatch. Both players are scouting that with their overlords. I think one person might have gone for it a little bit soon. It looks like, oh man, that is too close to call. Who got that thing down first, honestly? I guess we can check, though, right? So if that's it, 600 now. Oh, yeah, so Serral's was first. Serral's was a little bit faster than Rogue's was, but I'm sure Rogue, I mean, he already had a drone over there, right? A drone already over there to go ahead and throw that down. He didn't react to it. Maybe he was just prepared in case there was one going down, and then he reacted perfectly. Anyway, we've got some lings moving out here for Serral. Got a baneling nest for both players on the way. Both players are droning up super hard as well. Sitting at 28 to 29 workers. 3 minutes into this game, and third bases are about to pop. Lings come in, and they're going to maybe try to force some lings out for Rogue or force a cancel. 4 lings really should not be able to force a cancel on this third at all. There we go. The defensive lings are here. Both players have speed. Really, nothing should be lost at this stage by either player. No problem whatsoever for anybody. It's just ling control versus banelings is really important in the early stages, but these players, I think they're too good to lose to just one really good baneling hit from their opponent. If that ever happens to Serral, I'd love to see it. His control is too good. He pulls away too fast. He doesn't allow his lings to get surrounded on a baneling and allow it to kill 10 or 15 of them. It just doesn't make any sense at all. Anyway, third base here, lings scouting out, just trying to be annoying at this stage. Nobody's really trying to do anything too insane. But both players are going for just kidding, 1 lair from Serral and no lair from Rogue right now. That production tab is basically going for a +1 missile attack, which now immediately gets started by Serral 2 seconds afterwards. I mean, these players are just doing the exact same builds right now. That's what it is. Zergling come cruising in, and Queen gonna kill it, trying to pick off a baneling. Anytime you can trade 1 or 2 Zerglings for a baneling, that's a good trade. You should do that, Zerg players. If you're in a ZVZ and you hate it, if you can pick off a baneling with a Zergling or 2 Zerglings, you win. That's a win for you. You're not going to win the whole game necessarily, but it does help in the long run. Banelings really need to explode on several Zerglings to really pay for themselves. Zerglings cruising into the third base, but there are 2 banelings and a queen and a bunch of lings there too. So Serral decides to hop on out. Roach Warren on the way for both players, obviously, because they're going for a missile attack, right? Both players are going for Overlord speed here too at about the same time. Rogue's a little bit behind on this one, but virtually identical. I guess this is how you play ZVZ anymore, you guys. You just get up to, 60 workers in 5 minutes and throw up your 4th base here at about the 5-minute mark and go for a lot of roaches and maybe some ravagers, and we'll see what happens after that. I think that sounds about right. All right, so overlords are just well placed for both players. They both have speed. They're going to be hard to take down unless we have mutalisks or hydras on the field. which we don't. I mean, nobody's going for either of those things right now. There is no Spire. There is no Hydralisk Den. 4th base, there we go from Rogue. It's late compared to Serral's, but again, it just doesn't, I don't think it matters at this point in the game. Look how fast this Overseer is. When you give speed to Overlords, whoops, that one. When you give speed to Overlords, they also give their speed to the Overseer they morph into, and they're just so fast. Look at this. So fast. We're getting shot at, but this is a perfect scout. This sees exactly everything that Rogue is going for. He sees the macro hatch. He sees no 4th base quite yet when he scouted it. Or same thing for here. Rogue is scouting too. He sees no Spire. Sees no Hydralisk Den. Drop Lord on the way here from Serral. Where is he setting up a Drop Lord? Back home. That's a weird place for it. Maybe he wants to bring some queens across the map for some aggression. But yeah, the Overlord scouting in ZVZ means it's really hard to hide stuff. There's not much anti-air available in ZVZ most of the time. And so if your opponent sees exactly what you're doing, it really just comes down to who can do it better. Who can do it faster? Who has better control? These are the questions that need to be asked in this version of StarCraft ZVZ. I really would love to see, what's it? Alpha. Wow. Just forgot his entire name, but it's Alpha, the AI who played against Mana on my channel yesterday. If you missed that, by golly, go back and watch it, because it's fantastic. Fantastic stuff. Alpha, Alpha Go, Alpha something. Alpha Star. I remembered. I remembered it. Ling's running into the 4th base. No, not happening. Baneling drop. Kind of trying to do stuff, but there's a queen shoving that away. Yeah, Alpha Star playing ZVZ would be stupid. It'd be amazing. Again, because Ling and Baneling control is so important in ZVZ. If you had an AI with incredible control and incredible micro abilities that just never did that, never lost a pack of Lings to a Baneling because they could pull back and react perfectly every time, I really think a Ling Bane all-in would just really be all that Alpha Star would need to do, and it'd win most of the time. Just because control is everything in that matchup, and humans are so limited on what they can do there. Obviously, I said that Serral, that never happens to him, but I don't think that's because he puts himself in a position where that does happen to him, really. Maybe it does. I don't know. I don't watch all of his ZVZs. All right, man. Here we come. Rogue pushing in. Positioning not that great for either player. He looks like Rogue is pulling back. I do want to see who beat Serral on the EU ladder, though. There are some Baneling drops here at the 4th, doing some damage. Is that even some damage? No, absolutely not. One worker has been killed by Serral this game. The pull was perfect from Serral. Overlord, again, just scouting around, trying to see where this Roach Ravager ball is. And we don't know. I guess we know now. It's here at the 4th, and this is where Serral's coming in. He's maxed out. He has an army supply of 132 to 114. And that's the thing about ZVZ, is you can get maxed out so fast in this matchup. It really then comes down to control, who can win battles. The Burrowed Roach is here for Rogue, though. That's a little bit annoying. Where's the detection at? I don't see the detection. Yeah, Roach is popping up, picking off drones. I love this. This little ZVZ trick that happens where you get Burrow Roaches and you run them around to the different bases and pick off drones is basically Terran dropping, but just a little bit different. A little bit different here. You do have to deal with it, though, with Overseers and with Roaches of your own. And then they're attacking the front, too, is Rogue, because he's capable of doing that. Lurker Den on the way from Rogue, so he's going to go for a demo Lurkers. Tunneling Claws coming in from Serral here, too. He wants to get on this action that Rogue has been involved in. And these Roaches, they're doing okay for themselves. Look at how fast they regen their health when they're burrowed. I believe that was nerfed in a current patch, but right now, Burrowed Roaches regen health incredibly quickly. If they're not dead, they're basically not gonna die because the regen is so fast when they're burrowed. And they have the Tunneling Claws upgrade. That helps. That actually helps too. They actually regen faster in that situation, which is not something I don't know if that's very commonly known, but whatever. Anyway, Roaches from Serral coming on in. They're going to be surrounded, and he just decides it's time to pull out. This is not a good situation for us. We're as fast as anybody here. So let's go ahead and just escape. No reason to lose a lot of stuff there at all. I got a bigger army up north that maybe we dragged Rogue's army away just a little bit, but nah, we did not. Are there still Roaches doing stuff, man? Roach versus 2 Queen. Queens they do have the upgrades. They are sitting on 2/2, which is useful for them. The Roaches are on the same upgrades, though, so it's basically like we're 0-0 at that point. So clearing out some of the creep here from Rogue, trying to slow down a bit of that spread and make it so Rogue doesn't know exactly what's going on half of the map at all times. It's a pretty good strategy here. Again, it's a Terran thing to do and a Protoss thing to do against Zerg, but against other Zergs, the Zergs want to do it too. It's very, Very tongue-twistery, a bit of a word play here. Overlord gets picked off there. Serral does lose an Overlord. Not much has been lost in this game yet. I say that as a bunch of roaches by Rogue are going to die here. And also, we have some roaches over here at a 5th. We've got some burrow shenanigans from Serral here inside the main base too. Big time engagement here at the 4th base though. Serral doesn't quite like what he sees. Now he's standing in. Now he's throwing down Corrosive Biles. Too easy to dodge though, if I said that before. It's too easy to dodge Corrosive Biles, but Rogue's attempt at a 5th base is going to die. And it does end up falling down. There's no saving that from 2-2 roaches. Absolutely not. Serral's 5th base is up and running, and that's humongously important for him. Roaches focusing down drones back here. It's been 7 to 9 drones killed. Really just negligible in that difference. 3,600 resources lost for Serral. 6,800 for Rogue. Some Burrow Roach trying to get home, I guess, from Rogue, but that's not going to happen. Not going to happen at all. Both players are going for 3-3. We have Adaptive Talons on the way from Rogue, though. That fast Lurker Burrow is so good. It is such a good spell. Overlord gets picked off for Rogue. It even has speed. Just didn't react in time. The Burrow Roach is trying to head up north. No! You guys are in so much trouble. I guess we just go for it at this point. You're not going home. Might as well get up here and see what you can do. Oh, the Lurkers by Serral are out, though. That's a trap. Don't go that way. Pull up this way where you can get better surrounds on you. And yeah, the Lurkers are coming in. The Roaches are trying to run. The control is pretty good by Rogue. He's not going to lose many of these to the Lurkers. Spinecrawler getting some shots in, and then the attack comes in from Serral. Just beautiful angles. Everybody is going to die. And there it is. We got a Nydus worm popping up from Rogue here inside Serral's main base. I think it's going to be Lurkers. I don't know what else would be inside that Nydus, which I don't know where it is, by the way, but here it is. Ready, set, erupt! I was so close on that. Viper production has begun from Serral, too. It is Lurkers, man. And these Lurkers are going to cause problems. They're going to burrow up here on top of the ramp, and suddenly, the army of Serral is in trouble. Although Corrosive Biles are pretty great, and all the Lurkers are actually in a heck of a lot of trouble. The Roaches and Hydras are fighting here, too. Did you bring enough? Brought some Lurkers of his own to fight. But those are getting picked off as well. More Lurkers are coming on in. Spinecrawler fighting defensively. An attempt to retake his 5th base. And it's going to be Lurker versus Lurker action down here. And it looks like Rogue's going to go ahead and hold on to that. No problem at all. Rogue still has Roaches and Hydras here inside the main base of Serral, forcing him to send units back here to attack and defend these guys. Everybody gets home. The Nydus Worm is going to get destroyed, and that is enough of those shenanigans for now. 65 to 69 workers. Rogue happily sitting on 4 bases. Not really saturating his 5th here, while Serral definitely is. Almost fully saturating that thing at 11 workers. Resources lost 10,000 to 14,000. Rogue has lost more at this stage of the game. Hydra's continuing to push across the map. Roach is coming along the left side. Burrow, Roach, Mission Impossible Stealth Roaches. Coming along this left side to see what they can see. And the answer is Spine Crawlers, Spore Crawlers, and a lot of other stuff there. Hydras pushing on in. Lurker leading the way. Single Lurker, a bunch of Hydras, and some Roaches. More Lurkers are down here killing the Changelings of Rogue. And again, at this point, if there are any Lings on the field, they're Changelings. Nobody's making Lings right now. Everybody's spending all of their larvae on Roaches and Hydras and Lurkers. 6th base on the way from Serral at the 11:30 position. Rogue pushing up across the middle. He hasn't really been able to be super aggressive for a while now, and in fact, this is kind of going to work out for him, I guess, but the army for Serral is in pretty good position to deal with it. Some Roaches coming up to the 5th base, getting stabbed away by a Spine, and dealt with by a bunch of Hydras coming in from that direction, too. We are going to get into the main base, though. Splitting off these units really well right now is Rogue. Just beautiful, beautiful play from him. He's going to try to get some stuff in the main and in the natural, but Serral has proportioned out his units perfectly to where not much is going to get done. The Roaches might actually be able to escape with their lives here, but nope, they walked right past a ton of Hydras and Lurkers with Overseer support, and they all get completely obliterated. Crikey. Crikey on that one, mate. 6th base by Serral is on the way. It is almost done. I don't think he's lost a base yet. He's kept everything that he's made alive, which is really, really useful. Serral actually has fewer workers than Rogue does, but that means his army can be bigger because you have a 200 supply limit cap. 134 to 117 supply right now in favor on army and for our Serral. Overseer flies in and do some scouting. Are we tech switching to Mutalisk at all, or Ultralisk, anything whatsoever? I don't know. Oh, and we're going to use this the site to actually take down or throw up another Nydus Worm. This Nydus Worm is not going to do well. Wait, where are you going, Serral? You could deal with that. Give it. That was really, really weird. The Lurkers could have done something about this. I guess you don't need much, though. He had one lurker and one Hydra to shut that thing down, so no big deal. Kind of decided to push across, then pull back, then push across, then pull back. Serral is feeling... he's just dancing, man. 8 p.m. right now is just... it's over... I'm going to say it's over 300. I'm going to take a guess right now. It is. It's over 300. Not 400, but right around in there. We have some lurker drop attempts here from Rogue around the right side. Let's see what those guys are able to do. There are so many Hydras out there. Drops are a bit scary to pull off right now at this stage of the game. And Overseer flying around. Maybe another Nydus attempted? Maybe. I don't know if this has been spotted, man. I don't think Serral knows this dude is over here. This drop lord is over here along the right side. Got Overseer flying into the main base just for more scouting. He's doing a great job with it. And again, ZVZ, it's fairly easy to do that. And there's another Nydus. I don't know about this Nydus stuff. I don't know if it's really cost efficient for Rogue. I love Nydus swarms, don't get me wrong. And this one's gonna erupt, and I don't know what there is really to defend this other than this single lurker. Oh, and a whole ton of roaches that show up just right on time, because of course they're on time. Dead there, but lurkers burrowing at the 4th base of Serral. Picking off a few of these drones, actually getting some shots off on this hatchery, too. So 4 drones are down, and I really don't know that Serral's gonna bother replacing those at this point. I don't feel like he's gonna bother. He'd rather, again, have the army supply on army. The lurker den gets picked off, though. That's kind of a big deal. Another Nydus attempt. And we're going to try to queen down this Overseer just because we're really tired of dealing with that. A huge attack coming over here to Serral's 6th, and it is going to go down. Hydras and lurkers taking that sucker down. Burrowing out lurkers. Burrowing lurkers in the mineral line here, too, of Serral's base. Rogue is being so aggressive right now. Can he do this? Can he take Serral down in a macro game? Something we haven't seen since Innovation did it on the channel just a few weeks ago. Hard to do. Hard to do beat Serral in a game that goes longer than 10 or 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Rogue's going for a 6th base of his own, but roaches are here. And the roaches happen to be 3-3 because all the roaches on the entire map are 3-3. Lurker's trying to burrow in and deal with this, and they're going to be able to handle it just fine. They do bonus damage versus armored, and roaches are armored. And all is quiet on the Western Front. 146 to 124 army in favor of the red Zerg player from Finland. And he hasn't really been super aggressive for a while. He took down that 5th base of Rogue about 5 or 6 minutes ago. Hasn't really come after the 6th too much, with the exception of some of those roaches. Hydralisk's trying to sneak on in. Again, it's a dance. It's an endless dance right now. Roach is actually making it up to the 5th base of Serral, and I guess get lurkered right on to death. Another Nydus word attempt here from Rogue. These are not cheap, you guys. This is 100. That's 100 gas for every one of these that he erupts up here, and then he immediately loses because there's roaches just waiting for it. Trying to kill that Overseer is not an easy thing to do if you're defending. Unless you have mutas, you can chase them down, but nobody's really going for mutas right now. It's hard to pull that off just because fungal plus parasitic bomb plus Hydra makes it really hard to make that happen. Blinding Cloud happening, though, against a lot of these Hydras and these lurkers. Blinding Cloud, oh, there's your abduct. That's the abduct-a-thon right now. Both players abducting their own, each other's Vipers. That's pretty good stuff. I think all the Vipers of Rogue are done. That was a pretty good pickup there by Serral. Resources lost 23,000 for Rogue, 15,000 for Serral. Do we have, these are changelings. Wait, Serral has his own changelings up by his base? That's a weird situation. Anyway, another base on the way from Serral. He's taking a 7th down at the bottom right. He never really replaced his 6th because there's a lurker sitting here with 3 kills who massacres every drone that gets sent up to replant this base. And we are trying to avenge that wrong, say the roaches, but no, we got to come back and deal with some roaches that are just wandering right up to our 3rd base. And our 4th base, rather, going to try to kill it. So drones are definitely getting killed right now. I'm not sure, again, how much Serral cares. He hasn't really replaced any of those in a while. He's sitting at 48 to 71 workers. I haven't seen a drone in that production tab for quite some time. Another Nydus coming up on the top is Rogue. I don't know about this Nydus. I keep saying that, but they're just not doing anything. Maybe the goal is that eventually one of them will. But then the roaches are just on top of it. You don't even really try to bring anything out before that thing dies in a ball of acid. Anyway, we're fighting, we're moving, we're grooving to the moving. And just when it hit me, somebody turned around and said, play that Hydra music, white boy. Is there a Hydralisk song? I feel like there should be. There used to be a time there was more like StarCraft2 music involved. What do I want to call it? Not parody music, but just kind of fun music. Novelty music is the word there that I'm looking for. Nydus does erupt, and this time the roaches are really nowhere to be found. You might as well unload here. There's nothing in that Nydus form. But hey, I guess if you're forcing Serral to run back and deal with this every time, that counts for something, right? Burrowed roaches, nope, turned into a corner, backed into a corner, and summarily executed. Rogue has another base in the top left-hand corner here. We're going to call that his 7th as well. 7th base of Serral is under attack now, too, and all right, Rogue doing some good things right now. I really like what's happening here for Rogue. He's giving Serral all that he can handle, and I love seeing that. I love seeing the reigning Blizzcon champion given all that he can handle. Makes me feel good. So it's a lot of Hydras. It's a lot of lurkers out for Serral right now. We have Vipers. We're going to play Viper Tug of War. Every time one of these engagements happen, hatchery from Serral is down. And that 7th base is out. The 6th base finally getting replanted. But by golly, this income by Serral cannot be healthy. It's really not. It's about 700, 800 per minute lower than Rogue's is. Rogue. Look, you guys know that Serral won BlizzCon, but you don't know if he won every single one of his games, right? Right. So we don't know if Rogue wins this thing or not unless you watched it live. That makes it fun. I'm on board here. Look at these lurkers doing damage up here at Serral's 5th, causing major problems. Look at these Hydra versus Hydra situations. Lurkers burrowing in. There's the abduct on those lurkers. Trying to get them back, but no, the Hydra is just too good, too strong. Roach's counterattack from Serral while he's defending at his own front door. I just got to say, I would not be doing this if I was him. I'd be trying to throw everything I could at the front door attack to try to keep it around. But Serral, that is just pro plays, where you come down and you just try to snipe a base while defending at the front at the same time. It's hard to do. That's why Serral is one of the best in the entire world, and again, undisputably the best as far as BlizzCon is concerned. Viper is getting sniped right on down. I still would have loved to see him play a ZVT at BlizzCon because he didn't. All through the rounds there. Serral losing another hatch. Rogue, he's up 20 total supply. Army supply is 146 to 162. He's down in total army supply, but sniping off hatcheries is pretty good. Those are production buildings for Serral. He needs those to keep building stuff to replace the stuff that dies. Income, once again, not very healthy. About 600 below that of what Rogue is sitting at. Rogue, does Serral know about this base? He doesn't know about the 7th base of Rogue. For someone who's been scouting really well this entire game, Serral is losing it. Oh, don't push the Overseer to scout this base, Hydralisk. Oh, you're betraying Rogue's swarm here. Again, just small groups of Rogues are running around. This is a larger group coming on in, but that's a lot of lurkers. They're all going to die, but they're going to take a lot of roaches and Hydralisks with them, especially with blinding cloud ups. They can't really attack. This 6th base is going to die. Attacking on right up into the natural here, too, where the hive is, and rebuffing it there is Serral. Once again, Rogue is retreating from this position. He doesn't want to lose his army. He knows he has an advantage economically. He doesn't just want to lose his army and lose to a huge counterattack. But check this out. That Overseer came over and scouted this top left-hand 7th base for Rogue, and now it's going to die. It's amazing what these games can hinge on, y'all. It really is. All right, so hatchery done. Spine crawler done. Where are we? We've got some changelings up here. Serral does have a bit of a reprieve here, a bit of a respite from the attacks he's been dealing with. The 6th base is up, and that's a godsend for Serral. He needs that income. He's really only sitting on 2 mining bases. We'll make it 3 now with that one. And Rogue is taking an 8th base in the bottom right to replace his 7th he lost in the top left. Both players making lurkers. Both players making overlords. Overseers right now. Trying to see what's common. Both players are going for hatcheries, too. Look who's taking the top left now is Serral. He wants that for his base. Every base on this map has been taken. That's a sign of a good game. That is a sign of a really, really good macro-style game, no matter what this matchup is. You ZVZ fans should really appreciate this one. Even if you're not a ZVZ fan and you clicked on this, first of all, thanks. I really hope you enjoyed it. And I hope it opened to your eyes to what ZVZ can be. You know, dude, this lurker drop could actually just shut down the space entirely, but it's not choosing to do it. Did it drop? Oh, it did drop. Wait. It didn't drop one because it's full. But another lurker came up to cancel it anyway. Dude, I think Rogue might have this one, you guys. I don't want to caster curse it, but oh, here comes a huge engagement. Blinding Cloud is done. Abducts happening all over the place here, too. Lurker's getting picked off from distance. Hydras with range are actually pretty darn scary. Lurker's burrowing in and dying to defensive Lurkers of Serral, so that didn't go as well for Rogue as he would want it to here. And look who's trying to expand on top of Rogue's base. Serral is, because there's only 2 players in this entire game. Army supply. 128 to 154. Serral has a humongous army supply lead right now. Lurker versus Lurker. Adaptive Talons is an insane upgrade. This is generally what ZVZ turns into eventually, is Hydra Lurker more often than not. A lot of Lurkers getting picked off here. Rogue has lost 46,000 resources to 30,000 for Serral. Serral's bank is at 6,000, 3,000. Rogue only has 200 gas in the bank. That actually might be the downfall of Rogue here, is the fact that he doesn't have the bank that Serral does. Serral's been making better trades. Yes, he's been losing bases. Yes, his income hasn't been as good as Rogue's, but if you make better trades throughout the course of a 25-minute game, you're going to be ahead when that 26-minute mark pops up. So yeah, Serral, he never stops moving. His army is always moving. It's always dancing around. It's always responding to a threat. It's always trying to threaten. And somebody has said in the past that watching Serral play Zerg is really like it's a hive mind. Right? You got stuff moving all over the place, pulling back, weaving in. It's like watching just the flow. The flow is amazing here. Serral's got his own changelings in with the army, trying to see what's responded to that. Snipes off the hatchery. It does end up going down. Another base by Serral, where Rogue's trying to take it at the same time in the top left here. Spinecrawler's going to get killed. No luck for you guys. Spinecrawlers don't benefit from upgrades, y'all. And as a result, the longer the game goes on, the more upgrades the actual army units have, the better they're going to be. Abduct on one more Viper, and the Lurkers are decent targets as well here. Are the Vipers of Rogue actually all dead? Let's take a look. Production or units tab says yes, he doesn't have any Vipers right now, where Serral is sitting with 8. That's a huge deal. Blinding Cloud available for Serral and not for Rogue is such a problem. Look at this. There's your Blinding Cloud. The Lurkers get picked off. The Hydras are in trouble here too. Suddenly, Rogue's army supply is plummeting right now. The Abducts are so great in this situation. Hydra versus Hydra. Serral pulling back because counterattacks by Rogue. He's going to try to take down the Hive. Does actually take down the 4th base. Hive is getting shot at by three roaches. And you know what? If they try to focus down the Hive, they might have gotten it. There's the burrow down, but there are, again, overseers all over the place. Small group of Lurkers are fighting here, getting picked off by a bunch of Hydras from Rogue. This very well may get an epic tag. Ladies and gentlemen. This has been a good one. I know I've been saying that a lot lately, but that's because there have been a lot of great games. I'm not going to apologize for it, and really, neither should you. If you're still watching, quick plug for the Falcon Paladin Hour, by the way. It is a weekly podcast with me and Somicron. He's an Australian. I'm an American. We talk about video games and TV shows and books and StarCraft and all sorts of great stuff. Please check it out. Just search Falcon Paladin on your favorite podcast app or Google and you'll find it. Continuing to tack on in here is our friend Serral Rogue. Our other friend is he's defending really well, but is he long distance mining? He's long distance mining. His gas pool, his gas bank is 200. He's down 30 total supply. Army supply is down about 20 here too. Serral continuing to march on in, then back on out. Pick off some creature members, pick off a base, pull out, does not overextend, does not try to get into a situation where he can be surrounded by lurkers. This is how he plays ZVZ, and it's really, really good. It's really a pretty darn good strategy. Another Overlord dies. Some more drones getting killed here too. Are there... Where the... Oh, all right. Oh, actually making lings because he has so much minerals. Or he had so many minerals anyway. Look at this. Even the Lurkers repositioning so they can actually get some stuff done here before they die. Hydra's attacking on in. Rogue might actually be able to win this battle and take down this 6th base of Serral. And he does. Look at this. He's forcing Serral back. He only has a handful of Hydras to defend against this. Another hatchery goes down. Rogue's done an amazing job at dealing with these hatcheries. Lings cruising on up. What are the upgrades on the Zerglings? The answer is they got 3 armor, and that is approximately it. Oh, look at him turning those guys into lurkers. That was beautiful stuff. Does he have 2 hives? He's got 2 hives, I guess, in case you need one of them. Because the other one died. Seems entirely possible. How are they going to get it? If they had crackling upgrades and +3, they would have gotten it. But as it stands, no attack upgrades, no adrenal glands upgrades, and the hive does end up getting saved. Oh, he burrowed some lings over here. That's hilarious. They're all going to die, though. Serral, I mean, if you're making kind of some paniclings at the 30-minute mark of a game, you're in a lot of trouble here. Hydra's pulling down. That's a pretty scary army from Rogue, but the Blinding Cloud is here for Serral and is not here for Rogue. Coming down that ramp is such a dangerous proposition for Rogue. He's making more Zerglings, and just Zerglings aren't going to cut it here, especially if they don't have upgrades. As they don't, everybody's 3-3. If Lings are 0-3, it makes a huge difference here. Once again, you can do pretty well here. Rogue has a pretty decent army, but the Vipers are the difference. They are the difference makers. Serral is finally retaking another base in the top left. He has been happily mining off of, well, effectively one base for a while now. Just, again, it's all bank, though. He's maxed out. Rogue's attempt at a base on the bottom right-hand side gets absolutely sniped off there. Rogue attacking up with some Lings against the Lurkers. No! Not what you want to do there. That Lurker does get picked off, but it wasn't because of the Zerglings at all. Flank attack from Serral. Sneak attack from the bottom side. These guys are stutter-stepping as well they can as through these Hydras. No, the abducts there are not that. GG. Serral is your winner in exactly 31 minutes and 0 seconds. Oh, that final battle. That final battle here. Got a pretty decent army, 112 army supply here. Again, versus 166 that Serral has, but a lot of it is down here, wiping out this base. Comes up, but then Serral responds immediately, kills this hatch, pulls on up, gets the flank attack around, and Rogue taps out. So yeah, a lot of stuff killed. Rogue killed bases, man. He killed at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 or 6 hatcheries. Rogue ended up losing a couple as well, but not nearly as many as he killed of Serral. But really what it mattered was the trades. And I said this before, I'm going to say it again. It really came down to the trades. Was Serral able to trade more effectively in battles? Did he kill more stuff than he lost over and over repeatedly throughout this match? Because that means he's got a bigger bank. He's able to replace his units when we start mining out of bases, when we start losing mineral patches and Vespine geysers, as we can see down here. These ones are expired. Who has a bank to make units? And Serral did. So great job by him. And that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch. /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.